or provides 10 cups of boba.
I will rap for AC. You heard it here. So if you're an electrician near where we live, come find us. By the way, this is
I will rap for AC
yeah,
too.
we will together.
And our
rap for-
producer will rap for AC. We will all rap for AC.
Shout out to Victor or stand-in producer when Kawa is not here. You know what Kawa's doing right now?
I know what he's doing.
Kawa is not here. He's at Vegas playing Agricola.
Agricola. He's at Evo.
That's too many letters to say.
We passed up Evo to cast for you guys. And Agricola. We passed up Agricola too.
We didn't have a choice in the matter.
Yeah, we did. I had a choice. You had a choice.
My conscience says LD's sick. LD needs some help.
And then he just burns us alive.
LD's now sleeping. Fucking LD
He burns
right
us
now.
alive in the house.
That's why.
That's how he repays
That's
us.
why there's a draft going on right now, and we don't even need a draft because I'm fucking in charge right now. Nobody's here.
Is there even a game going on?
There's a game going on.
We're
There's a
just here for
draft,
entertainment.
but like, who the hell want to see the first two band? It's
Dude,
like
look at this.
Bad Alchemist.
Look at this, man.
Yo, man.
This is next level.
Yo, there you go.
Whoa. That looks so cool. So, as you can tell, Orange Gaming versus Rattlesnake
See?
was...
Right there.
Is this game 2 going on here? Red Bull 2013 Dota 2 ECL.
Shout out to our landlord, Lawrence. Not our landlord, but
I thought,
BTS
you said
landlord.
landlord. I was like, what is a landlord? Lord of the land? Lands? L-A-N?
Landlord.
I thought you said L-A-N.
Oh, Lord of the Land.
I was like,
yeah.
huh?
Yeah. No, landlord who got us more boba.
Oh, yeah.
But this boba is not the sponsor of the tournament. The sponsor is the Red Bull Esports Championship League 2013. It's Orange Esports versus Rattlesnake Gaming. Rattlesnake Gaming dropped game number 1 in a very, very depressing and sad fashion. Late BKB activations.
It was sad, but it was still kind of exciting.
Yeah. It was a good game to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was mainly the mistakes of Rattlesnake as opposed to the good play of Orange, though, that I think got
Orange
them
played
by.
well.
Orange
Like-
played well. They just didn't mess up as much as Rattlesnake.
Extinct and Net played
Wait, so how do you think they need to change
Rattlesnake.
from last game to this game? in
Okay,
order-
I think Orange Esports needs to do better in the early game.
Okay.
Because generally that's where they're good at. And they lost the early game against a team that we deemed had 2.5 laning out of 10, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Rattlesnake need to get their head away from the wall that they're ramming into. And maybe start using that head and think. Because, holy shit, that game was not going well. But actually, let's jump into the draft as we now see a couple heroes. Rattlesnake Gaming on the Radiant this side and have the first pick.
We'll rap for AC.
Well, there's David Zhang and Bamboo over the... Yeah, don't worry. And there's the overlay that's not showing anything. And now it's back on. Victor's just smiling because he has no idea what's
There
going
we
on.
go. Wait,
All right. Oh, all right. We got
Yeah.
this one back.
Don't worry, we didn't miss much of the draft, and
Alright.
very standard drafts thus far. More surprising than this, OD has recently become like first ban material.
Yeah. I don't think... Well, maybe against Orange Esport, who's known to pick OD quite a bit, especially Mushi. Such a good
But we
solo
even saw it
mid
versus
laner.
IG too.
IG... Well, maybe. I think they didn't first pick. This is like on the second phase, right?
It was first ban.
Oh, wow.
10 seconds.
All right, maybe OD is the first man worthy. I just think he's a very beatable hero.
I
Like
think
he's
so
good,
too.
but he's beatable.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what we need to agree on is that we should both talk about 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So the other person could
Drink boba.
drink boba.
I'm
and
talking
what
with
you,
tapioca balls in my mouth.
you don't talk about don't talk with balls in your mouth. I did that last game and I
You
choked. So lesson at home, guys. Don't talk with balls in your mouth. Orange Esports is gonna pick up Shadow Demon and Gyrocopter. I actually
Dude, Shadow Demon's been falling off. I don't know
Yeah.
why. That hero is the second bomb.com.
any any particular reason why we see Shadow Demon so early pick up? Because Orange Esport have support heroes like Sanking that they're really good at and now being banned out. They're really, really good at more of the kind of the playmaker supports. Shadow Demon is a playmaker support, but it's not very offensive.
10 seconds.
Oh,
It can
sorry.
be. It can be. It really depends on what your other support is. The problem with Sanking is he's not that good at early level just because he needs like 400 range. It's some ridiculously low range on his son, maybe 400, 450, somewhere around that area.
Radiant
And
team
if you have a smoke and you need Sanking to initiate, you're not going to be able to get the stun off during the daytime against a decent mid player or wherever you're ganking. And that really hurts a lot. With Shadow Demon, pop out a smoke, disrupt, set up for Lina, Chen, whomever it may be, and then you get a kill. That's so important. I actually like Shadow Demon a lot, and he's also very, very good versus BKB rushdowns. You can purge people if they try and BKB and run towards you. You can defensively disrupt, and it's just such such an incredible hero. You can gain vision of the fights using Shadow Poison. You can stack and do camps. With Shadow Poison, you have incredible burst. This hero is just a god.
Yeah, he just has everything except a stun, right? I mean, if he had that, he almost would be a very perfect hero. Particularly, you talking about the defensive disruption. It's gonna be good against Dragonite's initiation, good against the Sprout initiation, and now it makes more sense because if they went with Lifestealer first pickup, almost certainly Rattlesnake would have got Shadow Demon as one of their support and just really.
People haven't really been picking that much.
I mean,
of him versus Lifestealer.
You always run into the risk of them getting it though, and I think now this two is such a good combo. You could disrupt to open it up, and then you open wound, and suddenly the.
But where are they going to put Gyrocopter now? Is it going to be a support gyro?
I think you could. I mean, Gyrocopter is so versatile in terms of laning. I think very easily Orange Esport could throw him mid. You go offensive trialing with a Gyrocopter or with the Lifestealer. I feel like the laning situation for Orange Esport even now is not a concern at all. These heroes are so versatile in terms of laning that it's okay.
Well. Nature's Prophet is going to have a pretty difficult time, I think, no matter what lane he's in. Versus triple lane, obviously, he's at a disadvantage. Versus solo Gyrocopter, I think he has a disadvantage. And even versus solo Lifestealer, I think he has a slight disadvantage.
Yeah. And, well, Nature's Prophet generally loses every lane, and so does Dragonite, right? Dragonite against Shao, he loses. Even the straight-up Dragonite versus Lifestealer matchup, I'll put money on the Lifestealer, although we probably won't see the two melee heroes in the mid lane. What's a little bit interesting to me is that Rattlesnake transitioned from a fairly active kind of team fight oriented lineup, well, not really, more of a chasing oriented lineup, where you had Storm, where you had Wisp Relocate and Nature's Prophet.
But they didn't use
it that well. Now they're going for a completely different strategy, going for more of a pushing. Dragonite's pretty good at that. Nature's Prophet pretty good at that. Chen's pretty good at that. With Chen being picked up here, you have early access into Roshan if you win a kind of early team fight, because your Chen creeps could tank and also do a little bit more damage to Roshan. I feel like this particular lineup might be pretty good against Orange Esport. Orange Esport somewhat weak during the
I think they could just push them down, just pick a Lone Druid, Banekeeper Light, and just go all out, push, own their towers, and then win.
What they need to worry about is Gyrocopter's call down flat during these pushes, because that could weaken a lot of Chen as well as Nature's Prophet summons. More importantly, they have to be wary of a Living Armor Tree and Protector pickup. I haven't seen Orange Esport use that.
Living Armor.
Yeah, it's just annoying to push. You could definitely push against it, but it's just annoying. Especially if he's starting to heal tower in between waves and whatnot. But I don't think Orange Esport will pick that hero. I think Orange Esport will be looking for something like a Windrunner to finish the draft, because they love the 3 cores. They'll love their Windrunner on Ohio. I mean, last game we saw the Shackle. He's justifying the Windrunner pick.
Rattlesnake could use a Weaver pick. This is why I don't like picking Dragonite so early, just because it sometimes messes with your lanes. If you had a Weaver, what is Orange Esports going to do versus a Weaver? They don't have enough burst, they don't have any stuns, and they don't have any silences.
Yeah. And
it's actually banned out.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So
I guess that's why.
They definitely read the draft well. They banned the Weaver first, and then went to the Lifestealer, and then the Enchantress, so it makes more sense. It looks like Rattlesnake's going to deny the Windrunner away from Orange Esport by picking up themselves, so they have pretty good laning. And is this Windrunner going... I think Dragonite might be one row carry here, because...
It could be support Windrunner.
It could be, and it used to be kind of a thing. I think EGM from Aliens, is that what you call them?
Alliance.
Yeah, Windrunner or EGM from Alliance plays Windrunner on support and gets a ton of farm on him. So we'll see if that's going to be a similar support. Aliens? No, that's had an extra E in there somewhere. But Windrunner, another very good support against this lack of stun lineup here. I feel like Orange Esport might be a little bit greedy with their draft.
And lack of AoE too. They have Gyrocopter with massive amounts, but other than that, no anti-push. No good anti-push.
Infest, bro. Walk into Chen creep, eat it up, and AoE damage.
Shockwave from Enchantress creeps.
And then Rage and walk back out. What a combo.
What an anti-push strat.
But definitely lacking in terms of anti-push. I think they need another 3-core hero that can anti-push. Darkseer's still in the pool. I'm completely surprised. A Razor being banned out here.
Wow, they are scared of that Lifestealer getting shut down.
Yeah, I remember Zenith was using Razor to really, really good effect against OGD International for the Alien World Cup. So a lot of the Chinese team has been banning out Razor as well. So I really didn't think that Rattlesnake was going to pick into a Razor, though they still have the lineup to do it if they want to.
So what is Rattlesnake going to ban out next? What are they scared of? Anti-push? That's what I would say.
I don't think they're scared of too much. I think they should ban off lane, but apparently they are banning one of the mid heroes, as Orange Esport is lacking that and as that as well. But I feel like banning a random mid hero against Mushi is not that effective, because this guy could play a lot of different mid.
Yeah.
So Like
I think OD's fine just because there's not really a hero exactly like OD.
Right.
but I think Pug and Quab are pretty interesting.
Now Stormster is
Yep,
gonna
Storm. These three heroes are like not exactly the same thing, but they serve very similar roles. They scale very well with items. They're like decent in lane. They're very difficult to kill, and have a lot of control in the team fights and take a lot of. I wouldn't say they're like tanks, but they draw a lot of attention in team fights. Like if a Puck orbs in or Dreamcoils, wow, Shadow Friend. There we go.
So it's gonna be a. Do you purposely call him Shadow Friend?
Yes.
Okay.
He's your friend, man. Look at him. He's so friendly.
He's smiling. Is he smiling? Or is that the grin that like the dude gives
The demonic grin.
the candy to the little kid? Be like, hey,
Pedo grin.
the pedo grin. It's BTS After Dark, which I have to say, BTS we only cast when it's After Dark.
Yeah.
Can we do something about this?
Well, you think it'd be cooler if it was nighttime.
It's not cold. We have an enclosed room that has curtains everywhere, and there's like lights. There's lights everywhere.
Well, let's talk about Shadow Fiend for a little bit because I think he does decently for Storm Spirit. I don't think he does poorly by any means. He's like it's not your ideal matchup, but Shadow Fiend should still be able to get some. And Orange does not have the best roaming lineup with Enchantress.
Enchantress is a good roll.
I mean, they just have Enchantress though. Shadow Demon plus Enchantress is pretty good, but like Shadow Demon by itself, or sorry, not Shadow Demon by itself. Shadow Demon by itself can't really kill the Shadow Fiend, and they still have a lot of ways to protect them. They have the Chen, they have a Nature's Prophet who can TP in, so I think they can do a decent job of protecting the Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend is one of those like awkward picks. I feel like some people just like pick them and just totally utilize them in a different way that another hero could utilize a lot better. But I think he's really good at accelerator farming once he gets level 7, and I think he's really good at fighting like level 9 through level like 13, using Rage, using Requiem, and getting your first utility item, whether it's BKB, Blink Dagger, or Shadow Blade. I usually prefer Blink Dagger, but Shadow Blade if the situation calls for it. I don't really like BKB Rush just because I think he needs mobility around the fight, and after that he just transitioned to right-click hero. So I think he can man mode a Lifestealer in the late game, especially with a DK. You just like try and tank him, right-click him down, force him like not go like all balls out during the rage, and after that just kill him during a Dragon Tail. Dragon Tail is one of the better spells versus Nakes. Low cooldown, spammable, pretty long duration, and you don't really need the damage versus him. You just need disable.
Yeah, normally I'd be pretty afraid for Shadow Fiend because, especially against a Storm and Lifestealer Bomb, like generally you just die before you could do anything. But this particular game, you have Chen heal and send back. We saw how effective that was against single target initiation last game. Luo just had a brain fart and even blocked him. Well, there goes the lane because maybe not. Mushi also misses blocks, so it's not going to be the biggest deal. In fact,
wait, Runner might do it. This is talking about the babysit, dude.
Yeah.
Screw the Chen creep. Screw the Furion TB. Let's just get Windrunner sit here, babysit, and block for me.
Yeah, and well, we do see a little bit of level 1 creep camp block. This block is actually fairly important because it does, or not, because he's actually.
Where's our game sounds, dude? I can't hear anything.
You hear it?
I can't hear Shadowfriend denying those creeps, man.
God damn
He's
it.
so quiet, man. How am I supposed to play without any sounds? Oh, there we go. There we go. Now I'm like immersed into the game. I can hear creeps getting slaughtered. I can hear Mushi going denied. Yeah, that's pretty good.
And Mushi is not denied. My Shadow Friend is just nobody's friend right now.
0-0, man. He is having a tough time in middle. So I guess let's talk about the lanes. Shadow Fiend expected to not do great versus Mushi, but I think once he gets level 3, he should be able to raise some creeps and just play a little bit more aggressively. We see 4 people on top for Orange. We didn't actually introduce the lineup, did we?
Yeah, we really didn't. Let's quickly run over it. It's going to be Lua playing the Shadow Fiend mid, having a really tough time against Mushi, who's playing the Storm Spirit. On the top lane matchup, we're going to see Icy once again on Nature's Prophet. Let's see if he's going to have a better game here. This one, ky.xy is going to be rotating onto the Gyrocopter. Net's going to be playing the support Shadow Demon. In jungle, we do have Extinct on the Enchantress, Ohio on the Lifestealer, who I thought he was going to go straight up off lane, but seems like he's going to TP onto the off lane with a teleport scroll and just.
Dude, that guy was a boss on Windrunner.
Yeah, he was. Kabu's going to be playing Dragonite, and then we have Neo now be rotating on the off lane, playing Windrunner, and then Lamb in jungle on Chen.
So both heroes getting pulled a fair amount in middle. Storm Spirit starting with a Null, Branch, and 2 sets of regen. Likewise, Shadow Fiend, Wraith, Branch, double regen.
It was just like raise to harass on Mushi. Level 1 raise, not exactly high.
So there's a smoke on Extinct. I definitely expect a very early smoke gank and just kill Luo. This is Shadow Fiend's weakest time in the game. Level 2. He's just so weak. You need to kill him a little bit early just so Storm Spirit can snowball. It's not worth farming up and playing greedy versus him. And it looks like the smoke is right about to come out.
Yeah, now at this point where Luo
or
has
just 2-minute rune.
Luo already is doing enough damage to make it such that he's gonna outlast it Mushi. Neither hero have a really good animation. Luo, whenever he misses the last hit, could easily grab it back with Shadow Ray. So, although with that said, Mushi's still denying him. Doing a very good job.
I think it was a good idea by Rattlesnake to put this defensive sentry ward up the hill because they know that Orange with their lineup isn't going to do aggressive triple lane for the most part. It's just a little bit too weak, especially for versus some of the defensive heroes from Rattlesnake, including the Chen and the Furion being able to TP. It's just way too much risk, and they know that they're gonna either put 3 or 4 heroes top, and without a smoke, Shadow Fiend should be fairly safe in middle.
Yep.
But here, speaking of the smoke,
they're gonna try to
right
about
Hellbear
now.
Smasher.
Nobody's
Oh, they're rotating. Wow, Dragon Knight. What a next level rotation.
was
right
this just like straight up rotation? Like
I don't know. I get, DK is less farm dependent, I say, than Shadow Fiend, and I think it's a good idea just because it's a very long way to gank bottom lane.
that's actually fairly smart. I do believe
Oh,
Kabu's gonna
is
pay for
so
it.
boned.
Oh yeah, there's
He
gonna
has
be
boots. Oh wait,
he's running away. The open wounds still grab him somehow. We're gonna see him pull the follow up. Hellbear Smasher is gonna apply the slow, and that should be first blood. Really good rotation in the sense that Dragon Knight loses pretty early against Mushi's continuous spam, but now that he has a Bottle Crow, he should be okay. And Shadow Fiend, now that he's gonna have complete free farm. Well, he already had decent farm, but the rotation is gonna help him even further.
There's another smoke bot on the Enchantress. There's 3 heroes on bottom trying to put pressure on the tower. There is the Tornado. Let's see who's going to come to defend. It is only Ohio. What can a level 2 Nakes with boots do versus push?
Well, he's gonna just walk in the lane, pull the creep waves away, and then walk back. Like that's pretty much all you need. There's nobody tanking the tower for Lua right now.
They have a flash. They have another creep wave. I don't think that they can. I think that they're going to take this tower.
Yeah, they are. The siege unit has came as well. There's a glyph being used.
The siege unit has.
What's that?
Has came.
Well, what?
Sorry. Never mind. Windrunner.
I have no idea what you just said. Oh.
Victor's laughing.
Oh.
Well, there comes the TP, and this tower, after use of the glyph, is still going to stay up. So, do you think it was worth that rotation?
I think it's okay because your lifestealer gone from level 2 to almost level 4.
No, not for them. For Rattlesnake.
Oh, for Rattlesnake, I think the rotation is fine as well. I mean, Kabu's gonna be okay now. That's Bottle Crowling. He's a little bit more difficult to kill in the mid lane. Although GG Harpy Storm has now won the lane, so maybe not. But I think it's fine. Also, you gotta keep in mind that for Shadow Fiend, he's so easily ganked. Once Mushi turns level 6, you just need any +1 and he's dead. Maybe you just need Enchantress.
ky.xy is dominating top. IC is 3-1. Gyrocopter is 33-14.
Oh, he might die right now. KY's
Yeah,
trying to
he's so
TP out. The
good.
rocket's gonna come through in time. No, we won't. Just barely. Good clutch TP from Icy. But yeah, like you said, that the lane is gonna get further dominated as TP gets forced out. And it's really hard to win that lane.
Especially when all of the heroes start off top and you have to be constantly scared for your life.
Well, Luo's gonna try to bring his team back because no really other lane is winning at this point, but he's doing fairly decent.
Well, that Harpy Stormcaller is so annoying.
I mean, it's actually one of the strongest neutral creep in the game.
He
In my
cast
opinion.
Chain Lightning 6 times.
Yep.
6.
50 mana, 4-second cooldown, I think 150 damage. What a pull here from Mushi. Trying to go kill this Hellbear Smasher. Deny it, baby. Yep. No experience for you, Mushi.
Nice. Kabu's your baby.
Capucha, baby. Yeah, this is a fairly kind of defensive early game start for both teams. Who does that favor once you walk into like the first Nightfall? On one side, you have pretty impressive ganking squad with the Storm Spirit, with the Lifestealer, with the Enchantress. On the other side, Rattlesnake just want to get to the mid game, right? They have so many kind of farm dependent heroes that once you get to the 10-15 minutes in the game, you pretty much secure yourself the mid game. So, who do you favor?
I think Orange, just because I think that DK is not really going to be too much of a factor, and neither is Furion until like much later in the game, maybe like 20 minutes plus. If Orange starts forcing fights in a 12-15 minute phase and start taking down a lot of towers, I don't think Rattlesnake has the appropriate line to defend against that. They have to turtle, they have to they have to farm up their jungle, and Orange is on the move. There is a smoke gank incoming.
Let's see if you're going to be successful one more time. DK should be it. There's a Central drop down, although I think we'll mostly use it to kind of scope out any wards perhaps on the enemy's cliff. Meanwhile, the rotation is now going to go back up top. If they get a kill on Icy, they definitely push down that tier 1 tower. Icy, Thinking about
I think it
venturing
would be
forward.
so easy for them to just approach from a different way. Just get Gyrocopter to flak down the creeps, and then
they
just
come in from
circle
the back.
around, and
Yeah.
then just kill the tower. That would just be so easy.
I agree.
If he tries to TP, disrupt, boom, dead.
I do.
Oh, here they go.
Yeah.
Oh wait, they don't have. They have a centaur stun for it.
Well, they definitely just need enchant to open things up, and I do believe Icy's dead.
Oh, nice awareness by Icy.
And I just cannot stress on how good that particular play is because to him, the Enchantress is constantly missing, right? Because he could just be straight up jungling, but he understands the pushing timing. He understands that ky.xy is flacking creeps down here.
Bottom lane.
Oh, they're making that dive invisible. Mushi's trying to make some plays here. Mushi's going to zip back up, but Icy, look at his play. And out of mana, if Icy just right-click and chase, but he's going to go for the net. Who's the for sure kill? Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend just went for the kill, and well, he's now got it.
Yeah, they had 2 heroes down there. They had a nice shackle from Sagam, and then immediately 2 other heroes pop up. This is what I'm talking about with the support on the Shadow Fiend. They've just been doing such a fantastic job of protecting him. Shadow friend switching with DK. DK sacrificing his lane so that what a nice deny by ky.xy.
Yeah, called on zoning everybody out, flacking and doing a ton of damage.
Shadow Fiend like getting sent back. They're just babysitting Luo so hard. I hope he carries.
Yeah.
Or I think they hope he carries.
Well, I mean, you talked about needing the early BKB on Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, I think he needs. I mean, what exactly is BKB going to do though? They can just like. He can rage on the Lifestealer. They can just like run away with the other heroes. They don't really have a good way to lock him in place unless there's a disgusting shackle from Sagam, or if if Kabu gets in range for a stun. But I think Kabu is like very liable to just die to all the AoE because he doesn't have any items. He doesn't even have treads.
Icy's trapped himself in here with a tree, so he should be fine. So what do you suggest, Shadow Blade?
I would.
Stormster making zip against Icy. Icy in big trouble. Shackle shot not gonna land here because Mushi's bounce, but Wubner is gonna zip or run right back out. Mushi picking up himself a free kill, which is fairly decent. In fact, he's gonna be rotating mid lane against Kabu. But yeah, what's your thought in terms?
I think Shadow Blade or Blink, both are pretty good here. It depends on how well he is farming. It looks like he only has 747 gold. I'd probably go for Blink just because it's cheaper. And like if Nyx open wounds you, just peace out. And they don't really have a good way to initiate except for Storm Spirit. And you can catch a Storm Spirit if he retreats. It's much easier to do so.
Would you? I guess it's good against everybody else aside from Storm Spirit, but it's Mushi Storm. He's going to be active all over the map. He's going to be. You're probably the highest priority target for Storm. So I personally feel like you want to go for a little bit more tanky or a little bit more reliable as a survivability.
He could go like phase drums too. He already opted for a treads too. We see some Shadow Fiend just go for the race card build.
Yeah, I personally like treads drums into Manta. I feel like that's just a ton of HP. And it's an item that's really good till 40 minutes in the game when you get bigger items. But
the only problem is I don't think it scales nearly as well. Like a lot of lot of Shadow Fiends go for HOD just so they can straight up tank the Nyx, tank the Gyrocopter when they go man mode into BKB or Rage. And I don't think that phase drums necessarily suits that role, but it is much better for the skirmishes, constant in and out of fights, chasing down heroes, etc.
Well, we'll see what he thinks is the better item choice. He's got 1,000 gold in the bank, no real purse just yet. We do see the rotation up top. If Neo hits...
if they see Sagam, this is night vision of Enchantress in play here.
Man, you are the vision master.
Dude, Enchantress so good. So good. I'm
Enchantress.
surprised they didn't go on him. I guess it was only 2 of them there, but he was so weak. They sent the Hellbear Smasher for whatever reason, and the Scout gave their position away.
Yeah, Chen wasn't level 6 either, so whatever reason they were thinking, it could have made it go. Tier 1 tower is going to get denied on the mid lane, and now it's going to be Icy making a little bit of farm. So these players are really good at rotating and kind of making sure that everybody's getting some farm. Icy, let's see if he's going to be going for the Maelstrom straight up first. He's definitely working towards that Midas right now. Last time he had around 1030 after a Boots rush. This game is going to be a little bit further away, unless there's some kind of insane tower push from Rattlesnake that grabs him.
I have not seen much from Chen this game. I saw the one attempted tower push on bottom, but after that, not too much, but he's still only level 5.
Look at this farm, though.
Yeah, he almost has a mech. I think it's a little bit slow for Chen, but he has to share a jungle with some of his friends.
Yeah. Mushi's coming around with the double damage right now. Who's going to be focusing? It's thinking about it. I
need more people.
Oh, Towers now sees Mushi here. Shackle Shot's going to lash, but I really don't think he can make it go here. They're going to do a little bit of damage. Offensive disruption against Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend's going to go down for sure. He's going to try to fight his way out. I think Shadow Fiend's going to be dead for sure. Does he have the buyback? Still surviving. He's going to be popping his ultimate. That's going to do a 50% damage reduction on everybody. That's a 3-man Sprout coming in from Icy, but the immediate tank go out, and nobody actually dies. The chase goes the other way here, and Net oh my god, the juke's coming out from Net. The Wrath of Nature should clip. He's trying to suicide, but the Wrath of Nature just clips Icy. Real play.
And on the bottom lane, ky.xy almost falling to the Chen and Dragon Knight. I don't think they split their heroes up very well. They didn't get a kill on bottom, and I think they could have saved Shadow Fiend had one more hero been there, and that would have been just devastating change in that fight, changing the momentum of that fight. They just had one more hero mid.
Yeah, there were 3 people walking out now. Kabu's gonna get sent back after open wound being used. He should be fine. And now they're gonna try to chase down Chen. Lamb doesn't. Oh, he doesn't have boots. I think he should just buy the TP and try to TP out. But I think, maybe.
Wow, they're backing off.
Why aren't they making that chase? I mean, they're going very close to the tower where Kabu is teleporting back, which he did. But really think they could have made a kill on Chen. But
Yeah, he's so easy to kill right now.
he does
so
have a ton
easy.
of armor, which is not irrelevant.
But Nakes with almost drums and phase boost, I think he would just rip them a new one.
Yeah. Well, Lua's going to enjoy a little bit of free farm time despite dying up top. He is going to be going for a BKB.
And there's a HOD from ky.xy constantly stacking these Ancients too, so hopefully he'll get pretty farmed soon. Meanwhile, on the Rattlesnake Ancients, we haven't seen any stacks yet. I think that Nature's Prophet can take him out as well as a Shadow Friend. He has 758 gold. Looks like he's going for the BKB rush.
Yeah, I actually think that BKB is a fairly good item here. Not really for team fight, but for actually pushing. Because when your Shadow Fiend has BKB and he just leads a team, leads a Dragon Knight, leads a Chen creeps to push, who do you actually jump on if you're like Storm or Lifestealer? There's really no good target to jump on.
I say you just go in, pop his BKB, and just hop back out.
Hop back out?
Yeah, because like if you hop in with a Storm, you have to pop your BKB just because there could be a Lifestealer bomb inside of him.
Right.
But if you just pop in, pop out, he pops his BKB, you lose nothing. They don't have any instants on Dragon Knight. It's like kind of close, but if you just be aware of him, then it should be okay.
Yeah, it depends on how Rattlesnake, how safe they feel. There is, looks like we do have a Wrath of Nature being used as battling a little bit trouble. Open wounds into call down, and they do get that kill. And tier 1 tower a little bit under siege. I don't think you can make that rotation and defend that particular tier 1.
Were they smoked up? They had a ward over here. I'm not exactly sure what just happened. The ward just expired, but some of the heroes from Rattlesnake are just getting caught out.
Yeah. Definitely not playing the early game as well as they did last time. They're definitely putting a ton of pressure on Mushi, but a ton of wasted pressure in my opinion, because I don't think Neo's going to hit that shackle, not against Mushi. And they are pressuring it and trying to get that tier 1. It looks like a teleportation. That's going to come in from Shadow Fiend of all players. Wow,
That is manly.
Yeah, Extinct's going to get a raise to the face, and, well, looks like the creep wave's not really favoring them, so they will get the successful defense, I suppose.
No tread toggle while he uses race. Looks like he's almost out of mana.
Yeah.
Oh, top lane. Or top.
Yeah, Mushi, does he have mana? He does have mana to cancel the trees, and Deluge is being made. He's actually thinking to start going back here. Mushi not toggling treads as well. Mushi, a player that definitely has openly said that he doesn't think tread toggling is necessary.
Dude, they are not getting the value out of those treads.
They are not.
Or their bottle.
Why get treads? You don't toggle.
We see a lot of the Western players do that. If they have an arcane boost, they will drop it. If they have Null Talisman, they will drop it. If they have a couple branches, they will drop it. Just squeeze those few extra mana or HP out.
I dropped my Bloodstone on a team fight to Magic Wand up. That's how much I'm on the value train. But don't think you should learn from me, because
well,
I ain't no professional.
I mean, tread toggling is like, there's not that much effort. Once you start doing it, you just do it by habit.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It gives you a decent amount of mana. It's not like 10 sets like before, but it's still pretty good.
For heroes like Shadow Fiend, if you think about it, if you squeeze out 2 extra raises, that's an extra creep wave. That's extra 200 gold. That's a big deal if you kind of numericalize the tread swapping.
I don't know if that's a word.
Yeah, but it definitely is a big deal once you get into habit of doing it.
Well, I see making use of the Ancients right now. Relatively passive game from both teams. 2 kills for Rattlesnake, 4 kills for Orange. And I just don't know if Shadow Fiend is going to have the impact that they thought he was. He's pretty close to BKB. He has like 600 gold to go. But, I mean, Rattlesnake is just not doing much right now. They're like trying to like farm up, but they're not doing a very good job of reacting to ganks. For example, this gank on Kabu, there's nowhere to be found. Chen heal. Oh, wait, is he actually going to get some TP support? But, oh, wow. Just as I said it. So it looks like IC TP'd in.
The reaction was there. It was a little bit slow, but he's really tanky. I really think that Rattlesnake, once they get the BKB and Shadow Fiend, they'll push, because it will be hard to jump into it. I'm not even sure where Luo's going to pop his BKB when he gets jumped. We just saw how tanky that Dragon Knight was.
Yeah, that was...
So,
he lasted
if
way
he
longer
gets
than
jumped in by the Storm, he just say, jump at me. And if the pull comes out, the Chen heal comes up, the send back comes back, and you know, then if a real team fight breaks out, they pop the BKB. Mushi gets his regen recancel. He's jumping forward right now, dropping a couple remnants.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Well, Orange Esport not really successful their endeavors in terms of getting
Dyer's
pushed.
top tower
Nature's
is
Prophet
under
1000
attack.
go in the bank. Well, I'm going to be looking for a Maelstrom on him. Maybe he's going to go for a fairly different build considering that their strategy is a little bit more different now. But Shadow Fiend, BKB in about 200 gold.
I would love to see an Orchid on him too. It shuts down Storm very, very hard. It also kills Lifestealer pretty easily.
Sure, yeah. If you could prevent it from popping Rage, that's a big, big deal.
Yep. But you usually need Shadow Blade for that ky.xy, just farming away on top, looking for his BKB. Constant stacking on the side of Orange, net stacking this, it looks like for a third time.
Yeah, and I mean, once Flat Cannon gets decent enough level or enough damage on Gyrocopter, they'll start to take away these stacks. You gotta be somewhat careful if you're stacking against a team that could take down your tier 1 and tier 2 towers quite easily, because you might actually just lose your stack. But I don't think the Radiant is aware that that stack has been going on. Shadow Fiend, BKB check. We'll have it being flown out to them.
Ooh, they flew on bottom, but citing the DK, or citing the DK, yeah, they just backed off. It was pretty scary. No bombs inside of Mushi.
Mailing here, Lamb in a little bit of trouble. Definitely have the mech. Popping the mech is going to delay it. And does not have the Raffle guy. Extinct's going to be on the run on the mailing here. And the Sun, the Wild Centaur, not being micro. My goodness, your hero's dead. You got a micro body block from Luo, and they do get one stun. The second stun's going to come in. And that's going to be a 1-for-1 trade for the two junglers. And I do believe Rattlesnake will start pushing. As I say that, they're going to go back and defend their tier 1 tower on bot.
There it is, the BKB up on Shadow Fiend. The moment that Shadow Fiend has been waiting for, where he can finally do something in the fight without getting bursted down super easily.
Well, looks like we do see the... I do believe they're aware there's a net. Are we going to open up Disruption? You really can't disrupt the Shadow Fiend as an open up after he gets the BKB, because he will just activate it. These two heroes are still staying nearby. Is Mushi going for the backdoor attempt? Towers...
This, I think, is way too high to be backdoor. He can try though. He can try and do something cool and ball lightning in between each creep hit or tower hit.
Top tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
I think Shadow Fiend will get that deny if that's the case, but a little bit more TP action. Very, very slow game here. Only 8 kills in 18 minutes. And again, I think it disfavors Rattlesnake a little bit more. I think their late game's slightly better, but that's really kind of a coin toss. Maybe not with ky.xy getting a huge stack. After his BKB immediately has a helm and 1,000 gold in the bank. Ohio farming very well as a jungle / offlane lifestealer. All these consider both teams fairly even. Checking out the gold graph for the first time in the game, we see a 3,000 gold lead for Orange Esport. Nothing to write home about. Really comes down to positioning in this game, as most Dota games do come down to.
And both teams trying to get a full hold of Roshan. I think Rattlesnake has by far the better Roshan team with Shadow Fiend with the minus armor. It looks like Sagam is in a lot of trouble in mid lane.
Centaur creep gets stolen here, and I do believe no disrupt, no purge to open things up. Luo playing very aggressive, can play very aggressive because he has.
Sagam gets disrupted.
Uh-oh, he's in huge trouble. Where's the Windrunner? He's waiting for the Windrunner to get purged, but stomp. I'm going to see purge on top. Sagam just playing really aggressive. Here comes Kabu. Shackle Shot's going to jump out here, and Dragon Knight's going to be on the run, but he's just surrounded from all sides. Infest being used to do a little bit more damage. There's a send back, and now they're going to rotate onto Chen. Nope. Could be okay.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what Windrunner was doing up the hill. I would prefer to power shot up the hill. Wow, looks like Alanam's probably going to die too.
Yeah.
I would prefer to power shot up the hill so that he can get vision so he won't just walk into a Shadow Demon.
We're really going to take this fight. The cooldown's going to hit on everybody right now. Kabu's going to stun some creeps. I feel like these team fights that Rattlesnake's taking is just really questionable. They lose one, they send back one, and one person gets picked off and decided 3v5. They did draw a cooldown and a rotation from ky.xy. No BKB used from either side, so not really, again, anything to write home about, but losing a couple heroes does not favor Rattlesnake. I still don't know what Rattlesnake's game plan is. Going late game is okay, but Gyrocopter's definitely out farming them. They're not pushing when they have a lineup that can push, right?
It's really hard to split push too because of the storm and the constant threat of a Lifestealer bomb.
So I feel like they should be concentrating and play 5-man Dota. If you play 5-man Dota against a Storm Spirit, his effectiveness is really limited.
Yeah, or just 4-man with Furion split pushing if you know where the heroes of Orange are. And Shadow Fiend is like pretty strong right now, but I don't necessarily think it's time to 5-man. He could use one more item, I think, before they start fighting.
What do you figure that item is? I mean, last time when we see Dendy play Shadow Fiend mid, there was one game that he straight BKB rushed, like we see Luo doing right now, and the game ended up being a farm fest. And I think what we remember talking about is that if he'd gone for Yasha, if he's gone for Blink, he would have farmed it a lot faster, or a Shadow Blade.
Yeah, I think a Manta style is pretty good here. They had a lot of single target with the Storm being able to jump on people, with the Shadow Demon, a lot of his spells being single target, and Nake's And if you can bait a couple of the spells with the images or just do a lot of damage just because they don't have that much AoE besides flak to take it down, I think it's definitely a worthy purchase.
Yeah, I like the Yasha component for the sense that you get a lot more creeps, jungle a little bit quicker, walk from camp to camp, and the extra damage, attack speed, those are the factors that you can't forget about either. Lua
There's a life stealer bomb on bottom. Are they going to fight anyway? That is the question.
Yeah, they have double damage. They're going to get the kill. Unless Lua has some insane BKB interaction, he does pop in and actually immediately ultimates, and Ohio says, I don't care, I'm going to just pop and go, and TP a little bit too slow. The BKB, or excuse me, the double damage from Mushi takes him back home.
I'm very surprised that he just didn't BKB immediately TP.
And TP, yeah. He thought he could ramp fight. Unfortunately, Ohio.
You can't man fight a Nyx who's in your face without thousands and thousands of golden items.
Well, BKB first activation does nothing and dies. I see he's going to get a 4-staff. I haven't seen this build since ever. This is a build that you go like 1.5 years ago. It's not bad.
Yeah, that's a little bit strange.
I
don't actually know why he got
it. Doesn't help you split push. It doesn't help you carry. All it helps you, it's a very defensive / utility build. This is like more of a 4-roll Nature's Prophet, which is fairly good against all of the slow coming out from Orange Esport, all of the single target initiation. It now works through BKB, so Shadow Fiend should be fine even if he activated BKB and still is getting focus. So I think it's okay. It's definitely delaying his late game presence, but having an extra mobility item for himself and for the team is not that bad.
Yeah, looks like Lifesteal is pretty farmed too. Looks like he's hiding on bottom looking for somebody.
Does that face armor drums, and now they're going to be jumping on Neo. Rage should be used, and where's the open wins? Look at this 3-4 hits. They're just going to get such a free kill. And I do believe Mushi and Ohio is going to play very closely to each other. In fact, he could infest right back into the Stormster and make yet another go. There is BKB available on the Shadow Friend, but...
Wow, he was sitting in that for a long time.
Wow. And he just straight up walks right in BKB, and...
I
mean, BKB just lets you run away.
Yeah, that's it.
It didn't even let him run away the first time. I don't particularly like the build, just because it's just so defensive in nature. You can't play aggressively with it.
I'm just not liking what Rattlesnake is doing. Their lineup, sure you can farm late game, but it's oh my god, Nature's Prophet tree and destroy the tower against 2. Okay, I really don't like the way that Rattlesnake's playing right now because they're trying to farm late game against a team that can pick them off so easily. We've seen Mushi, we've seen Lifestealer just straight up walk up to people or zip up to them and just punish them. And if they don't get the kill, that's fine. You pop your BKB. And now we're going to see yet another TP back from Lua. I'm not even sure Lua makes it back home. It was close. Now we see Infest back out. It's so safe for these guys to make those type of plays. And it's very easy for him to, for example, Infest back out, Rage, and TP even. But he doesn't need to. He's fine.
Shadow Fiend sitting at 2,400 gold. They should try and maybe smoke Roshan. I think these teams could probably do Roshan if you, for example, push top tower with orange, force them back, TP to this mid T2 tower, and then do it. Or by the flip side, if you're Radiant, you can get someone to split push on top, most likely Furion on the top lane, and then just sneak in a Roshan. They're not doing a very good job of like drawing people around the map, and they're dying even with these defensive BKBs on them early.
Yeah, Luo is going to be going for Mantis out next as he has the Yasha being picked up. I definitely believe that the Dire maybe have an easier time. There's split push on the Radiant side, which is fairly annoying to deal with. But Stormster should be able to kind of walk up to the lane, defend the split push, TP to one of the Roshan towers, and zip in for the steal or whatever. So Rattlesnake smokes up right now, trying to get something happen. But again, passive game. Seems like Rattlesnake doesn't really understand what they need to do. Here we go. They're going to try to initiate on net. They're going to get a stun off. The question is, after they get this kill, what do they do? You talked about the Roshan. I talked about the pushing. They got to do something.
Yeah, looks like they're going to go for the Roshan.
Let's see if they're going to be successful at getting off.
Going for the T2.
I like the T2 choice a little bit more because you could actually spend the 40-second Roshan pit trying to bring it down. And Stormster has the, I guess, the possibility to zip in and take your Aegis. Whereas the tier 2 is a little bit safer. You know the goal is going to be going to for sure. It's very, very hard for Org Esport to defend and initiate onto this. And this will make the next Roshan a little bit easier.
Well, here's the 5-man that you were talking about.
Yep. I mean, Shadow Demon was dead, sure for sure, and sure for sure. And OG Sport wasn't going to make that defense, but at the same time, I thought they could have done that a long time ago and still had a very effective play. They do see a TP back from the Windrunner, and do you think Orange Esport is going to go Roach right now, or are they going to smoke up?
I think they can Roach, and the problem is that they don't have any vision up on the map right now. No Dire wards out. They really need to try and take control of the opponent's jungle, especially considering they have a gem up on the Enchantress. Or he did have the gem. What happened to the gem? Oh, it's on Storm Spirit now. Storm Spirit hasn't had any item progression, though. What happened to his items? He had Orchid fairly early, I think, but just tread since then.
Yeah, he hasn't been really killing people too much. Ohio, by the way, has picked up a bracer himself after his armlet. This Roshan attempt should be fairly obvious. Big creep wave coming on the mid lane. Storm could walk here and take care of it. Also, a creep wave being pushed up on top. Icy, by the way, 1800 gold, still not using his Midas. I think he's forgot to use it for a couple times. And I wonder, again, what is his next item choice? Seems to be a Scythe of Ice here, as he has an ultimate orb opening. This is used to be the build that a lot of Prophet players go for. Midas, Force Staff, into Scythe. Very, very safe. Not exactly too good offensively, but just safe flip push. Before the Shadow Blade kind of became a more popular choice.
Force Staff, though, really?
When it gave you plus 10 damage,
Oh,
like 10
oh,
attacks,
yeah.
I mean, the old Force
But
Staff.
now?
Now, definitely not. I think Shadow Blade has definitely overtaken it.
Yeah. And Shadow Blade got, like, huge buffs since
Yeah.
Force Staff got nerfed from his Quarterstaff recipe. I mean, I love that old Force
Yeah.
Staff. It's
Just
so good.
really nostalgic build coming in from him. But this game, I think he's getting it for a little bit more utility and defensive purposes.
I don't think I've seen him use it yet, though. That utility.
You haven't seen the hero yet. I think he's still filling that quota.
Well, I haven't seen too many Nature Prophet go for Necro Book 3. I think that item is really good. Maybe not versus Enchantress and maybe not versus Lifestealer. Both of those can kill it very fast, as well as Net, who can just purge it. But still, it could be a decent choice if you want to split push constantly. Other choices are Ag's Refresher, which we see some Trolly Nature's Prophet do, or Max GPM. We see Shadow Blade that is far more common, or just straight Sheep. Sometimes a mech too, but they already have 2 natural mech bears on their team.
I'm chewing on my boba.
Dude, I'm dying here.
The boba is really chilly. That'll keep you awake.
It's really chewy?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's the game and not the heat. It's making me swoon.
Swoon?
Swoon. Okay.
Wow.
Ohio. He says he's ready to go. Let's get back in the game.
And so is Bamboo. Bamboo is in heat right now, in more than one way.
Mushi has payload inside of them. They're scouting around Roshan. Pick smoke does not pop. They don't need to go in, and they are looking for blood. They have good ward setup now for Roshan, so I expect them to take him out pretty soon. There's one on the bottom room, one in the mid in case they decide to contest. I think that Rattlesnake needs a smoke in case they want to go in there. Gem picked up on Lon M, and there is a smoke on Stag M. So I think they're ready. They're ready to do it. I hear it in the fest. They pop out. They're doing Roshan.
Yeah, if you're Rattlesnake, though, you should be definitely on your A game checking out. You have Prophet, Treant to send it in. You have Power Shot. It should not be a complete surprise at
Chen
all.
creeps.
And it will be end up as a complete surprise. Rattlesnake just dropped the ball big time here. And
Yeah, that's just free Roshan. There's no reason to give him that unless you're just completely caught unawares, which I don't think it necessarily should be.
I mean, Storm showed himself in the mid lane, which was like, hey man, if they're doing Roche, they're definitely giving the Aegis to Storm. So maybe we see Storm mid, so maybe they're not doing Roche. But it was just, again, you have Prophet Treants, you have Power Shot, you have Chen creeps. Jesus, why is nobody checking out the Roche? That was just a huge misplay.
Yes, indeed. Looking at the gold and experience graph, just gold slightly in favor of orange right now. XP hugely in favor of orange.
Yeah, this is the ECL Esport Championship League, and sponsored by RedBull, by the way. And of course, it's the best of 3 series between Rattlesnake versus Orange Esport. Orange Esport already up 1 game, and this is a single elimination. So if Rattlesnake ends up losing this one, they are completely out. And to be honest, here, to be completely honest, I don't think Rattlesnake is playing that well. They have a lineup that's okay in terms of farming, in terms of going late game, but they miss a ton of opportunity. We talked about Shadow Fiend going for a big KP first, not really using it to fight, but using it to farm. And if using an item to farm, I think one of the better early game of farming item is either Shadow Blade or Yasha. And
Or Midas.
or Midas if you want to really go YOLO farm mode. But Luo, BKB first, still died a couple of times despite of having BKB.
And relatively passive game from both teams still. Oh, we see a jump.
Maybe not. Stormster is going to be making that jump. Nobody really coming back in. Mushi says, just kidding. Just kidding.
There's a Satanic on the Gyrocopter. He is stacked. Phase boost, MKB, Satanic, BKB.
Aegis.
He is huge. They've been stacking creeps a lot for him. Looking at net worth, 17,000 for this Gyrocopter, 12,000 for Shadow Fiend, and only around 10,000 for Nature Prophet. But he is pretty close to a sheep.
I
He
mean,
has a sheep.
Nature's Prophet, whenever I look over, his Midas is not being used, so I guess his net worth.
He is not getting the value that Lumi speaks so highly of.
You know, I actually used to have a viewer that comes in my stream sometimes, and he would actually has a stopwatch, and keep track of the time I'm not using Midas.
And what did it come out to?
Well, it depends on the game, but I think one game it came up to like 4 minutes not using the Midas.
Wow, that's 4 Midases. No wait, 4 minutes is 240 seconds, 2.5 Midases.
Yeah, 2.5 Midas
like-
activation.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
value
almost,
not being
almost
met.
500 gold, man.
Yeah, and tears were shit that day.
Enchantress working on a scepter, but farming it very, very slowly. 31 minutes in, not even 3 pieces complete.
But normally I would say, man, you know, your Enchantress are not gonna get too much farm. You shouldn't be working on a scepter unless you have a pile of gold, some like inherited by your grandfather or whatever. But this game is so slow, and all of the towers are so up. At least the more important ones, at least for the Radiant side, and the Dire is definitely more on the offensive. It's Orange's pace of game to play, and if they want to play a little bit slower, I think going for a Axe Scepter is definitely a really, really good choice.
And we see Rattlesnake 4 heroes up to. Are they going to find Mushi?
I
3
think
minutes-
Mushi's looking to find somebody else.
Yeah, 3 minutes on the Aegis, and it was on the Gyrocopter, right? Yep. Well, if they pick a fight right here, I think that things are going to go very poorly for Rattlesnake if Gyrocopter is there on time.
Any particular reason you think that Orange is not making a push? I feel like they're strong enough with their 3-core combos.
I mean, they're
here.
content to farm too. I think that a stacked Gyrocopter, especially the one he is just power farming and out farming anybody on the side of Rattlesnake. Rattlesnake forced to play a little bit defensively just because they have the constant threat of the Lifestealer bomb. And if they get too greedy, too cocky, and pushing out the lanes, they'll get punished, and Gyrocopter will come out even further ahead. So I think they're just waiting for Rattlesnake to make a mistake, either whether it be push themselves, whether it be split push, like. They just have to play defensively, not really show themselves around the map so that the Storm Spirit can't take advantage of it.
And both teams forcing out a couple of teleport scrolls as
Is under attack.
everybody's defending the tier 2 tower. Nobody really want to give away anything. Shadowblade on Dragon, I'm feeling kind of good enough about this game to decide to forego the BKB, which is a fairly common first item choice on DK. I still think that he's going to go back to the BKB, but Kabu doing okay so far, though that Shadowblade not really helping him find too many kills.
Well, I wish I could say more about this game, but Lumi, it's been like the same thing for the past 10 minutes, unfortunately.
It's been okay. I feel like you said, Orange Esport could definitely go for the late game. Lifestealer gets a lot better once you get the Abyssal Blade. Really take away the BKB option of Shadow Fiend and Dragon Knight. Maybe that's the big item they're going for. Stormster at this point is going to be relegated onto a pure initiator role. He's going to be or get back into BKB. And
I feel like if either team wanted to play this playstyle, they could just do a lot better with like an anti-mage or a specter. One that scales a lot better, one can power farm a lot faster to give them the space. But they have the heroes to play aggressively with Storm Spirit, with Lifestealer, with Shadow Fiend, with Gyrocopter. All these can fight early. Dragon Knight, but they're just not utilizing the potential of these heroes. Like I keep seeing this this trend where people play differently than their heroes should dictate.
yeah, and well, I know that Rattlesnake's definitely doing one thing correct, is using their Nature's Prophet and now Shadow Fiend to split push. Manta is pop. Very low in terms of mana though for Shadow Fiend. Looks like they're going to trade a little bit of tower. Meanwhile, mid lane here, Creep Wave is going to get destroyed, but they're all going to TP back home as Shadow Fiend shows himself. He could be BKB TP, he should be fine. And it looks like he will straight up BKB TP.
MKB?
No MKB, no bash or bash. Looks like we do have a teleportation coming back out. I mean, this game is so slow, and I feel like Orange Esport could win a team fight straight up, but Rattlesnake, the thing that we haven't pointed out, and which is why it's fairly boring for us to watch right now, is that Rattlesnake's really good at avoiding team fights. I mean, we saw the push coming on the mid lane, and immediately we saw split push pressure going up top, so forces Storm to TP back. And once Storm is back, and as they're slowly sieging tier 2, we do see Shadow Fiend making that push to the bot lane as well, and again, forcing TP back. Very anti-mage-esque, like you pointed out. If they had anti-mage, it would have been better than this Shadow Fiend in terms of what he's accomplishing, but I guess it's okay.
I suppose. They did get a lot of damage on that T3 tower on bottom. I'm surprised Orange actually let it go out that far. But just a constant battle of split pushing, of trying to out-farm one another. And looking at the gold graph, still pretty close, 2,500. Not really any big difference in that, just because both teams have been heavily farming in the past 15 minutes.
I think they want to be making a zip. Luo, though, already says, man, Peace going to go split pushing up top. And we know the split push is coming on the mid lane. And even without him defending a tier 1 tower on the bot, or tier 1 tower on the mid, he should be okay. They have things like Wrath of Nature, Flame Breath, looks like they're going to make a zip on Kabu. Not too sure whether you can. Immediate send back, the rotation again to Lamb. Lamb already used the mech, he's got Hand of God, but I think Ohio's running out in terms of rage. Really too big of a dive. They got a tier 2 out of that, but look at the push coming out from both Icy and Luo. They say you can have the tier 2. It's free, it's yours. We're going to push all the other lanes, and eventually you're going to have to back off. And there you go, multi-rainbow color TP going back, and he lost the tier 2 for free, I guess you could call it that, but Rattlesnake bought themselves more farming time as a result.
Yeah, I think they could just punish the split pushers if they want. They have the Basher on the Lifestealer, they have the MKB on the Gyrocopter, and they can stop TPs if, well, Icy looks like he's in a lot of trouble.
Hand of God's going to get used here. Mushi finds himself an easy kill. Scythe is only stunning for 2.5 seconds, so even if you Scythe and TP immediately, you don't make it out there, so that's a little bit unfortunate.
It's 3.5 seconds.
Well, then
He can do it. I don't know what happened there with him, though.
I'm not sure.
Well,
It's late.
Rumi? Dead silence. This is always good for the cast. Rumi is refusing to speak for some reason. And looks like
I was thinking very hard whether I should call somebody out right now, but I decided not to.
who would that be?
No, I can't say. Can't say.
And both of these teams afraid to venture past the river. We see both teams just trying to farm their own jungle, trying to farm their own ancients. I think this still is better for Orange. And this is mainly just because of how well Gyrocopter scales and how fast he's been farming. He's been doing a great job of using his HOD creep and using his supports to constantly pull. Look at his ancient stack right now. They've just been doing a much better job of babysitting, getting the power farm on Gyro, just getting him super stacked. If he gets the next Aegis, I think that Orange will make a move to try and end this game.
Yeah, I mean, having Butterfly allows you to still push up top a lot better. We do see Icy using his Cypher Vice. Two good effects, picking up a kill with the help of Kabu, but they kill Mushi, which is fairly big, but Mushi at this point, again, relegated down to more of a support initiator. They see Luo mid, but without Storm, they don't make that zip. Luo being able to farm a lot more aggressively as a result. Yeah, but I agree with you. Once Butterfly's back up, once they have Aegis on top of that Gyro, they will make that push. It's so hard to actually kill them right now. That's going to force Shadow Fiend to go into his MKB, even maybe before the Butterflies finish. And same thing here for Nature's Prophet, who should be already working towards that MKB. Alright, Ben has fallen asleep here as we see Neo farming up top. And again, fairly slow game. And Orange should have this late game taken up, although it's...
Yeah, they seem like the less mistake-prone team to the late game.
Well,
too.
Orange is definitely a mistake. They make a ton of mistakes, but the Rattlesnake definitely makes more, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Between the two teams, Orange looks like they are the more of the perfect team, I guess. But, who knows?
Double 4-staff. I still don't know why Nature's Prophet got a 4-staff. This very well may be a 6-slotted Nature's Prophet game, even though he got a relatively late Midas. Didn't he get 4-staff first and then Midas?
No, he got Midas
okay,
first.
Midas first. Okay, well, even so, it's going to be relatively late for them. I still don't know why he picked it up. It doesn't help you farm that much. They've been playing passively. It doesn't help you split push either. Just a strange item pickup overall. And it looks like the third, or second Roshan rather, Orange is already starting on.
Who knows? Maybe Orange is not ganked that aggressively because of the BKB on Shadow Fiend and because of the 4-star Prophet. They're saying, man, our ganks are maybe low percentage ganks. But whatever the case is, Orange Esports is going to take himself an Aegis.
Where are Chen's creeps? He has like one in middle. Why is he not just sending one in Roshan? I feel like this is a big misplay by Chen, not ever scouting it out. And he doesn't even have to, similar with Nature's Prophet, both of them can just send one treant, one creep in, and then they'll get a lot more information than without it.
I just want to say that Lamb's play today has not been impressive. Last game he had a Suicide Bomber Stormster that zipped in way too far and got killed a couple of times. This game, he's not, like you said, checking the Roshan pit with his creeps. He's definitely not stacking the Ancient. It's so easy to just park a Chen creep there and stack that as well. I feel like Lamb, like earlier you pointed out, he wasn't making ganks, he wasn't pushing, he was just farming for mech, and he has it, but it doesn't really do too much if if the rest of the team decides to also just farm. So, Rattlesnake, farming.
Shadow Fiend gets his Butterfly, even though there's already the MKB up on the Gyrocopter. I guess it will mitigate a bit of the damage from the Lifestealer, and he has his Abyssal Blade. He should have one more item.
They were dead on the mid lane here. Is Storm going to make a zip? I'm pretty far away. Alright, so now we predicted that once the Aegis is up, once the Butterfly is up, ky.xy and the rest of the team is going to go straight up.
Yeah, that's definitely what I would predict. I would have my money in rares on Orange right now, if I could.
If you could.
If I could.
Enchantress, instead of picking up the Axe Scepter, just went back to the Force Staff, which I don't think is a poor choice. Well, BKB activated gem's gonna be used because he does not know that inside him there is a Lifestealer.
What was he hoping to accomplish there? He was the only hero up there. He can't solo kill anybody. I don't even think he can kill the Shadow Demon or the Enchantress, and they've had a gem for the majority of the game now.
Yeah, when you ask a question like that, what is he actually trying to do, being invis up here when his ally is not there at all? Now that he will have 50 seconds to think about that. Hopefully find a good answer. Neo, by the way, is going to pick up a Yule Scepter, which for 4-row support, pretty good. Not sure exactly what he'll do with it. Maybe Yule's the Lifestealer up when he's not raged, but not going to accomplish too much. Luo's going to find a team, and Stormster could be making a zip. I think Luo's going to be big trouble. He might try to be... Oh, he's going to try to BKB and TP, but Abyssal Blade... Well, let's see if he understands that it's going to be on cooldown. Blink, any bashes? No bashes just said, but BKB is going to be out soon. And there's the poor Luo in huge trouble, but the rest of the team isn't making the rotation. No, they're actually fighting on the mid lane. They're losing that fight in the mid lane as well. Luo's going to go down as well. Trying to man fight out of it, but Mushi, nice dodge. Oh, actually dies to the last tick of that ultimate. That's very, very unfortunate. But mid lane, they lost a Windrunner, they lost a Dragon Knight. Icy is really the true survivor. Where the hell was the Hand of God through that? What is Lamb doing?
I have no idea. I also would like to see a block from the Storm Spirit. He had BKB and he's like tried to zip in front of him, but unsuccessful block. If they got a 1 or 2 lucky bashes on a Lifestealer, that would have gone a lot smoother, and I don't think Mushi would have died in that fight.
Glyph is already used right now in tier 3 in really big trouble. I feel like Rattlesnake just making these kind of, I don't want to say elementary mistake, but these mistakes that you definitely avoid. Tier 3 in huge trouble. Purge going to go out on them, and nobody's saving this Rax. Lamb can't do really anything at all. Oh, there is the range Rax. And Orange Esports strikes first on the Rex board. Here comes Kabu. He's going to land a stun, but he's still got the Aegis and the Butterfly. He's just really not afraid of anything. They purge up on top, open wounds, and they're going to try to go. The Sun comes in, negates the BKB, and that's going to be yet another kill. I think they could continue with this push, though. Icy putting a ton of pressure up top. Still not using that Midas. And, yeah, cool stuff.
Yeah, this tower's still very, very healthy, though. Sitting at 1100 HP, there is Glyph up, and this split push for Nature's Prophet, I'm not really feeling it that much. They have to TP back sometimes, but the damage is just isn't nearly enough.
Yeah, and Rattlesnake, I think they're really out of option. A split push would not be an option anymore. If you weren't afraid with the Storm Spirit Zip, if you weren't afraid of the Lifestealer bomb inside, you gotta at least respect the fact that there is a Butcher Travel now up on the Gyrocopter, which will make any split pushing a lot more irrelevant. So ky.xy already got 1 Rax up. I think the entire team needs to just heal up, group up bot, and just go push, because ky.xy still has that Aegis.
Yeah, they need to make use of that. Looking at the respawn timer, it only has 2 minutes left. I think they are trying to make a push, considering 3 of the heroes are bottom. Mushi is infested and Henning bottom.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the push on mid lane when they have 4 minutes on the Aegis. A lot of teams.
Oh, are they going to jump on him? They turn around. Is Mushi going to jump? That is a question.
I don't think you need to. I think he should just go bot and just secure the tier 2 push. They're so much stronger. He's giving time for IC to split push up top. So, yeah, he thinks better of it and now decides to pick up a rune and rotate it to the bot lane. Tier 2 is basically guaranteed. It's free. It's absolutely free.
Well, they are split pushing mid and top now, so Orange will be forced into a tough position after this T2 falls on bottom. Whether they want to TP back and defend against the Nature's Prophet and let their Aegis go to waste, or just force the fight and they may potentially lose a Rax.
Stormster making a zip here against Kabu, but he's going to get sent back, and we do see a ton of spell being on cooldown and a BKB on cooldown, so not exactly a good fight for Orange Esport. They got a tier 2 out of it, but I really think that was... They could have done that better, but
yeah,
ky.xy...
this was done a lot of spells used for that.
ky.xy says, I don't care, I got Aegis, I got light, nice BKB. He's going to be using BKB just to take down that tier 3. A ton of investment for items, and now focusing on the racks as well. Kabu coming out, breaking out that invest, focusing on ky.xy. ky.xy says, I got BKB, I don't care, drops a call down using a flag. Even a defensive disruption calling down, Kabu in big trouble, and tank being used on ky.xy. He is absolutely immortal. Kabu is actually getting broken down. Is he going to invest into anything? No invest. Nice armor toggle coming out from Ohio. Now we'll have invest very soon. It looks like Luo's going to get broken down as well. ky.xy will finally die. He does have the Aegis available. Sagam running back and forth. We go force that back out on Extinct. And now ky.xy pulls back in full HP. Flacking on everything. Flacking on this one building and just killing everything else. ky.xy will now break the second Rax. And
he has 5400 gold too.
Yeah, he's got buyback. He's now had Butcher Child finally being delivered to him. Well, we're going to see yet another Chinese team being eliminated from the RedBull ECL tournament. Orange Esport.
Oh, they're just going for the throne.
Yeah, why the hell not? Tier 2 still up on top lane. They're winning these fights decisively. 40 seconds to Shadow Friend comes back. Dragon Knight's absolutely useless and irrelevant at this point in the game. And ky.xy says, man, I got... they do hex him up. Are they going to really try to burst him down? Really don't think that's possible. Here comes the full nice double force after Icing's going to go down here. And just a ton of focus fire. Self-disrupt not going to matter as the dash coming in. Ohio playing perfectly against team fight. Just armlet toggle like an absolute boss. Lagam in big trouble as well as Extinct is just one man zoning out the entire team fight. Mushi zoning people back out in front of him as well. Where the hell is the gyrocopter? He's winning the game right now as he's droning away. Decent performance out of Orange Esport in this best of 2, but I think the headline for me is that Rattlesnake really playing poorly both games.
Yeah, their lineup was just like, what did the Shadow Fiend pick do? Like, almost nothing. It didn't synergize with any minus armor team. They didn't take advantage of his Shadow Rays and huge AoE capability in the mid game, and he's really kind of more of a snowball hero. He's not like an AFK farm for 50 minutes type of hero.
He really isn't. If he could snowball early game with a couple of tower kills into like a Helm Shadow Blade, Manta, and just take down more tower and start killing.
He can solo Roshan actually with this HOD.
Very, very easily. But it just feels like
lackluster lineup from Rattlesnake and a lot of mistakes.
Rattlesnake definitely more experience in terms of player than myself. But as a caster, I feel like they're not playing. It's like what you said earlier.
With IG, maybe?
They're not playing their heroes.
Oh, yeah. That's
maybe
true.
like it feels like they're playing an anti-mage.
Or Phantom Lancer or anything else like that?
Yeah, yeah. Last game, they're going balls to the wall and maybe a little bit too much. And they threw away their advantage. This game, they reeled it back too much.
Well, they didn't relocate. They didn't use like the mobility the first time. But this one, they didn't like play aggressive enough with the heroes that they had. So
I just feel like Rattlesnake, you need to understand their hero and lineup a little bit better. And well, they're not going to be seeing. We're not going to be seeing them in the ECL tournament anymore as it's a single elimination.
No loss there.
So Victor, if you could bring up the next bracket, if you could show us what's going to be coming up next. We will have LGD China versus Tongfu. This is actually the series that I'm looking forward to most, because I feel like LG China and Tongfu are arguably the two best teams in China right now. Of course, Tongfu winning the DSL, the Dota Super League, just a week ago. And of course, LG China coming up second against Na'Vi in the Alien World Cup. So this should be a very, very exciting series. And of course, we do see a couple teams being eliminated. After that, we have Vichy Gaming versus DK, another lineup or another matchup that I personally want to see. I want to see CTY. I'll miss the SMJ, so definitely want to be on the lookout for that. So that's our kind of a broadcast schedule for today. And my question to you is, Benwu, are you with me?
With what?
Or are you going to bed?
What? I don't know. This heat is ridiculous. We'll figure it out.
Well,
we need LD.
We do need LD. LD is working in a cold right now, so he's definitely resting, but fuck that. Fuck your cold, LD. That's loser talk. Wake up and go cast some Dota.
Yeah. Woo.
Well, we'll be back in a bit. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will have... What do we have again next up? Tongfu versus LG China. In my opinion,
that should be pretty good.
Two of the best Chinese teams playing against each other, and you definitely don't want to miss that. He's Merlini. I'm Luminous. We're mother effing hot in more than one way, and we are going to chill for a bit. Thanks for watching.